Peace, peace to everyone. This is the High Priest coming to you again with some wonderful information from our ancient ancestors and about our history. Again, we're going to be discussing the hidden halls of Freemasonry. We did a class prior to this one before on the hidden halls of Freemasonry, and we would just want to expound some more on some things that's been recovered. First, I just want to thank the ancestors, known and unknown, for their guiding wisdom. I'd like to thank Prophet Noble Drew Ali for returning back to us our ancient heritage and culture and identity. Tonight I want to discuss the hidden halls of Freemasonry, but I also want to tie in not only just the brothers and sisters that's in the lodges and chapters, but I also want to tie in the history of the Moors, because through the Moorish history there's a connection to the Europeans. One thing our brothers and sisters have to understand, whether you be Moors, Masons, Eastern Stars, etc., Freemasonry is not something created by the European. This was a system that our ancestors had way back in Kemet, also known in Africa, called the Egyptian Mystery System. This was the system that through the Moors from Egypt tutelaged the Europeans. So a lot of our brothers and sisters think that European Freemasonry is something of an invention of the Europeans. It's not. It's our ancient sciences, culture, that we taught them. They did not steal. They did not steal. We're back again. As I was stating a few minutes ago, Europeans did not steal our knowledge. They did not steal this wisdom. They were taught this. Before we get into the hidden halls of Freemasonry, I want to explain a little bit on what Freemasonry is when it deals with Europeans. The term free was based upon, they brought the title, we applied the title free to them because they were in bondage during ignorance, during the salvage, being a savage, uncultured, untutored being. We civilized them through the system called Masonry. And we applied the term free to it, to show that they were free to be let go and to free to do things. They also applied the term ancient from us, and they gave themselves ancient, free, and accepted Masons. But in turn, when you study Prince Hall Masonry, you will see three-letter with them as being accepted Freemasons. Well, that was the term was actually for the European. They were accepted by us, tutored by us. So it's just been a reversal. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have always told in the Nation of Islam that Masonry was something that Europeans had. And he also mentioned that the secrets in the European lodges was us, that we were the secret. But he never really went in to expound on how we were the secret. Well, this evening, I want to show and expound on some things of how we were the secret. How we came to be the secret of Freemasonry. Tonight we're going to learn that European Freemasonry is not theirs at all. That they have been studying and have been the custodians of our ancient knowledge. First, let's go back here. The All-Moroccan Star. The title of it is called here Moors and Masonry. Now if you see the Europeans here, if you can get a good close-up shot, you'll see they're wearing the fezzes. One is wearing the fez here. It says Mufper on the top. Under the bottom it says Islam. Mufper is the mystic order of the veiled prophets of the enchanted realm. This is where the Europeans go underground and honor us for teaching them. This gentleman here is wearing, again, Mufper, a fez, with Mufper on it. Underneath his it says Muslim. He's wearing a fez with Morocco on it. He's wearing a fez, Mufper, with Il Bay. They are wearing our titles and attributes because they are the custodians of our ancient history, our ancient knowledge. So they are not the originators of this. We taught this to the Europeans to civilize them and to eventually take over where we left off at. We'll expound on that a little bit. Also here in the book, The Secrets of Freemasonry by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We also have some more Europeans here, such as Gerald Ford, John Grant, wearing the fezzes. Anytime you see the European wearing the fez, he's imitating and carrying on our tradition, history, and culture. So again, there is no such thing as European Freemasonry. We have Roy Clark here, Glenn Ford, Ernest Borgnine, Buzz Aldrin, wearing the fez, wearing our headdress. They became the custodians of our ancient knowledge, because as time went on, we had got so corrupted amongst each other and enslaving each other. Our ancestors said, well, let's devise a system where we can civilize this European, teach him some of our knowledge, not all of it, but teach him enough so that he can continue to run civilization for us until we can get ourselves back online. Now, a lot of the Moors that I've talked to in the past have all denied Masonry and said, well, that wasn't something that was for us, that we gave this to the Europeans, civilized them, that the Moors set up the European Masonic lodges and initiated them. Well, the question I asked the brother that I was talking to about it, I said, how could you give something to someone that you wasn't using? That's like me having $1 and giving someone $1 and me not knowing that I gave him $1. So I asked him, I pressed his hand, I gave him a hand press and said, well, what is this? Since you initiated Europeans and said you said that more science, masonry come out of it. So I gave him a hand press and asked him, what is that? He couldn't explain it. So how can you say you're the father or founder of masonry and taught the Europeans this information and can't explain it or know anything about it yourself? So I just want to clear some things and show the connection with the Moors and the Europeans and what we taught them. All right, let me get into here. Also, Prophet Noble Ali told us that the Europeans that's in government, which we're going to show that a little later, get into that a little later, I just want to show this picture here, that the Europeans in government are called the Mystic Turks. They are the custodians and holders of this information. Here's a picture of J. Edgar Hoover with the feds. We're going to find out a little later on that all the Europeans, that the government was set up was by the Moors. And the Moors tutored them in the Europeans in the Masonry. So here it is, they know who we are. In the Circle 7, the Quran Circle 7 that the Prophet brought to the Moors, on chapter 45 of the divine origin of the Asiatic nations, verse 7, he says, the Turks, which are the European Shriners, are the true descendants of Hagar. Hagar, Isis, or Set, is the black woman, the Moorish woman, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca. They are the protectors. They are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca. This is your ancient knowledge history that's been hidden in the university halls of European Masonry. Beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the Uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. So here the Prophet was also teaching the Moors that here it is that we are the custodians of this ancient knowledge, that we brought this to the European to civilize him. So there is nothing European about Freemasonry, nothing at all. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into some things here. Got some scholarship here to prove. In the book Othello's Children in the New World, by Jose Pentamabe. So all the secrets that the Europeans have